At that time, our lands were all not so fertile, and along with that, the problem was quality seed was there. Farmers were adopting organic farming, natural farming, and all the sustainable way of farming that was available in those days. The few region of the country was so fertile like Punjab, Haryana, Western UP, Bengal. But after division, the part of land of India went towards the Pakistan, like Punjab and some part of Bengal. So in 1965 to 1966, in this series, let me take you back to the 1960 to understand the real problem when arise. In 1965 to 1966, the severe drought occurred and it affected our whole agricultural system in the country. And population was continuously increasing. And World War was also there. So to minimize the effect of food deficiency, our government asked to the American government, and at that time, due to program of PL 480 in the US, they were ready to send us some seeds, some grains, especially wheat. So the program was PL 480, and at that time, the president of the America was sending some advice to send some wheat that was supposed to take by their own animals was sent to us. And some grasses like Parthenium, we are looking today that our whole country is affected by Parthenium as being invasive species. So Parthenium seeds also came from those wheats. The quality of wheat was very poor. At that time, due to war of US against the Vietnam, our standing Prime Minister, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, spoken and criticized the US government and the resulting uncertain supply of the wheat. So the condition was like that nobody was knowing when it will come from US and mouth ship to mouth, like what condition. Like when wheat will come, we will eat on the same day or another day. No buffer capacity was there in the India. So it was an emergency like condition when India had to find a solution. So the agricultural scientists took up a very big challenge. And at that time, Professor M.S. Swaminathan and the Agriculture Minister C. Subramaniam talked to the Prime Minister of India, and she told that she is ready to provide every kind of support, whether it's monetary or any other approval kind of things. So Professor M.S. Swaminathan brought some dwarf variety from the US to India and bred it in and transferred the genes responsible for the dwarfing into the Indian cultivar. And that phenomena led to the begging bowl to self-sufficiency, and the term given as Green Revolution. The purpose was filled, and now we are able to export wheat to their countries as well. So it was requirement at that time that we have to produce more so that we can feed our nation, our country, our citizen. But those varieties, Kalyan Sona and Sonalika, developed by M.S. Swaminathan, was not simply giving high yield only due to varieties. It required some inputs, and that inputs in terms of fertilizer, irrigation, and various other agricultural inputs. So government supported that farmers need to use fertilizer, best irrigation practices, and other agricultural inputs so that we can gain more yield from the wheat. At that time, it was very perfect to looking into the situation. But now, if you'll see that yield came some new challenges, came with some new challenges. Now, farmers are using pesticide, fertilizers, flood irrigation, deforestation, they are doing residue burning. So earlier the question was how can we produce more? But now the question has been shifted from how to produce more to how can we produce enough food without damaging the environment, mean to maintain sustainability. So we have the same intensive agriculture that have helped us overcome food shortage is now become a problem. So green revolution was good phenomenon that helped us to produce more food. Now we need a sustainable agriculture practices. Like we are returning to our old practices that has been done in the past by our ancestors, our forefathers. So let us come to the present topic and in this situation, how agricultural system is contributing to the pollution. The most important three parameters which has affected our soil, our environment in the agriculture is fertilizer, insecticides, and herbicides. Everybody knows that judicious use of resources is the key to maintain sustainability. But you can say due to illiteracy, or you can say due to greed to get more, farmers are using more fertilizers, more insecticides, and more herbicides. This is overuse of the chemicals. What we got from these? Pollution, pollution and only pollution. And the impact of pollution on human health, whether it is environment, in terms of environmental pollution, including water bodies, our soil system, our air system that we breathe, that we eat, that we take. So the main problem of the overuse of these chemicals is the mindset of the farmers. We are routinely going to the village and to aware the farmers. We used to talk them, and what I think is the misconception among farmers are if they will use more fertilizer, like if scientists recommended that you have to take one bag and put into 1 acre. Farmers think that if you take 5 bags of urea and put into 1 acre of the land, it will give like 2 times or 3 times. In the layman language, I used to tell them that if you are using, suppose that a cow can give 1 or 2 baby at a time. It is called her vigor, her capability. But if you think that you feed the cow so much good things, good foods, a cow cannot give 10 child at a time. Same happens with the crop. Every standing crop has their own capacity in terms of vitality and vigor. You can't produce more and more in the greed of getting more food. You can't waste your resource. So what it led? Overuse of fertilizer, herbicide, and insecticides polluted the environment and ecosystem. And now the situation has been more worse. Along with the pollution, if you are using insecticides and herbicides, the few weeds and few insects are becoming resistant against those pesticides. Further, they won't die, whether it is insect or weeds. They won't die with the use of these chemicals. So now farmers are taking combination of insecticides and weedicides or herbicides to kill those pests from the field. But combination of these drugs, at present it is working, it is good for farmers, but the negative consequence will be same on human health. And thereafter also, at some point of time, mutation will play the role, and all those weeds or insects will develop resistance against these combination of pesticides as well. In terms of water, farmers are using flood irrigation technology. Whenever water is available in the areas, they are using too much water. Whatever it is required, they won't care. Flood irrigation, the basic technique they are using everywhere, and depleting our water resource. Due to increasing population, industrialization, and the greed of getting more land or agricultural land, they are cutting the plants, deforestation so far. And because of deforestation, our biodiversity is going to loss. Different greenhouse gas emissions are there, which can be balanced by the plants, but it is not so. So global warming is occurring. Soil erosion is there. So various consequences of deforestation is there in the environment we can see nowadays. Burning of forest residues is a very important aspect of the pollution, even after several tough rules and regulations by the government. Whether you can say the lack of awareness among the farmers, or no strict action has been are being taken against the farmers so that they are burning these residues. In our surrounding areas, every time we used to see that after harvesting of paddy and wheat, due to mechanization technology, after wheat harvesting, the crop residue occurs across the fields, and farmers find it very easy to burn it. That creates a lot of greenhouse gases, killing those useful microorganisms, leading ultimately to the loss of soil fertility. With all these mispractice, bad practice, we can say greenhouse gas emissions are there, and though only agriculture is not responsible for all these things, but when we are talking about agriculture, we will just talk about agriculture system that are creating problems in terms of pollution by using various agricultural resources. After fertilizer, herbicides, and insecticides, these two things are very important. Farmers are using different kinds of herbicides to kill weeds from the field. And there are different kinds of weedicides or herbicides are available in the market that won't affect the plant. They are very specific to the weed. But the problem is, if you take example of Cyprus rotundus, Cyprus is very tricky, very tough weed. Whatever herbicides you will use, they won't die. The better way to remove them from mechanical things are by using laborers. Even in my field, I have applied a lot of chemicals just for to demonstrate that whether which chemical is most effective against cypress. Recently, I used Imja Thapar, but I didn't find any fruitful impact of these chemicals on the herbs. Whether rather than killing those weeds, the chemicals are giving resistant ones. Weeds are becoming resistant against chemicals. So this is how, in case of farmers, they are using chemicals again and again and again. They think that if we spray 10 times, the weeds will die. In that race, they are using their money, and ultimately they will say that agriculture is of no use and we are not getting benefits out of it. In case of insecticide also, there are different kinds of insecticides available in the market and farmers are using it. If you see the data in case of cotton, there are two kinds of insect, bollworm and sucking pest. Since 1995 to 2004, when BT cotton was not available, farmers have used several kinds of chemicals and in heavy amount against bollworm also and against sucking pest also. After 2004, it has been observed that almost 69% reduction in pesticide usage in case of cotton. So these fertilizers, herbicides, insecticides, they are three very important points in agricultural system that are being used by farmers, and they are contributing in significant amount to the environment in terms of pollution, in terms of human health, in terms of contamination to whether it is soil or air or water bodies. So what could be the strategy to reduce the agricultural pollution? If you say that fertilizer, insecticide and herbicide, the way is to reduce. As you know that we can't eliminate the chemicals from the agriculture system. After removing it suddenly, the situation will come back whatever it was in 1960s. Because as we know, the insects are there, several weeds are there, population is increasing. You will find labor for the field, you won't get it because urbanization has occurred almost in most of the village. Male farmers, male laborers are not there in the village. They have shifted from the village to the town area. So nowadays it's too difficult to get laborers in the agriculture system. So we have to depend on the mechanization, we have to depend on the chemicals. But their judicious use or multiple approach, the holistic approach, I can say, is the way to tackle with these problems. In case of fertilizer, we have to use organic manure composting, we have to go for crop rotation, we have to take like production of dhacha, which we can say green manuring. We can use leguminous crops. So, and there are different kinds of course, microorganisms available in the market. Beside my institute, there is another sister institute of ICR known as NBAIM, National Bureau of Agriculturally Important Microorganisms. They have developed several kinds of consortia to treat the seeds. While sowing, we can treat the seeds with consortia, and we can see the effect in the field. We can decrease the use of fertilizer, insecticide, and insecticides also. So we have to find alternative way and reduce the use of fertilizer slowly, not directly. We can say that don't use fertilizer. Safer use of insecticide. So the best way is integrated pest management, like cultural practices. If you see that some plant has been affected by insects, you can remove that plants. You can take some herb extracts like neem. There are different kinds of oils which act as deterrents. It will work. Crop rotation, so that the progeny of the insects cannot live in the soil or your crop itself. Use of natural predators. While using chemicals, these chemicals also kill the natural predators. So they are not available in our agricultural system nowadays. That is why it is advised, it is advocated that use of biologicals is very important. Control herbicide damage. So by using, as I said, that mechanical tools are available nowadays, we can use them and avoid the frequent spray of herbicides. Improve irrigation system. There are different programs organized by the government like drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation system has been launched by the government, and on subsidy farmers can get benefit out of it. But the issue is of awareness. In India, the extension scientists are very less, whether it is available in the availability of those extension farmers in the university, institutes, or Krishi Vigyan Kendras. They are very less in number. So they can't visit every village and can't meet to every person. So we can help, we can take help of digital media, and awareness can be spread among the farmers. Stop burning crop residue. This is the best way to avoid air pollution. While you can see in the Rabi season, in the starting of the Rabi season, we used to see the staple burning of paddy, and in the after the Rabi season, you can see in the April or May, we are witnessing that farmers are burning their wheat residue. So preventing this burning of the residues, crop residues, will be useful. And we are giving them training, farmers training, that we can use the residue to develop organic manure, or you can feed them to animals. And of course, agroforestry is being advocated by the Council of Agriculture. Every time we advocate to farmers that you can go for agroforestry if you're small, very land, and you can't grow major crops in the land because of several problems, farmer basic problems. So better to grow some plants and select the crop which are giving good results under the plants. So, being a biotechnologist, our approach is different from the normal practices. As we saw that uh, the breeding approach is, though breeding approach is the best way to develop varieties, and development of varieties is taking too much time. Almost 7 to 8 years it will take to develop a new variety, and will go up to 5 to 6 years. So the time taken by development of varieties for the crops is difficult, a time taking. So among the various good approaches, there is one approach which is known as genetic engineering to development of genetically modified crop. Before starting GM crop, I would tell you that there are two lobby in the world. One is European and another is American. European advocates the use of chemicals. They are very clever kind of people. And Americans advocate the GM crop, genetic engineered crop. And we are in between. Neither our research is so high that we can develop our own chemicals, nor we are able to, we cannot say we are not able, better to say that we are dependent at least. We are dependent for GM crops and for different chemicals on the foreign companies, foreign researchers. So we have to take up some initiative. We already have taken as well. Recently, two rice varieties has been developed by the ICR, genome mutated varieties, by the ICR with different traits. Gene stacking is there by breeding approach, by multiple breeding approach. Varieties are there of the rice. So GM crop is playing important role in different aspects, different part, whether it is biotic stress or abiotic stress. In different countries, people are using it. In our country, we are using only in case of BT cotton. In Bangladesh, we are using BT wagon. But again, it is also important that we have to take serious consideration and we have to admit the opinion of our environmentalist, our researchers, our other domain scientists. We can't lead the GM crops in hasty mode, but if the evidence is there, if data are there, looking into the importance of GM crop or transgenic crop, we can go for it. Some genes are available in the bacteria that can reduce the effect of these herbicides are being used. So few varieties or few genotype of the glycine max soybean has introduced with the genes which are responsible to detoxify the plant against the herbicide. We can use this genetic engineering approach for phytoremediation also. There are few genes which are responsible for detoxification process. So we can introduce those genes inside the plant and we can see the result. So to remove soil and water contamination, we can go for genetic engineering technologies. Flavor Saver tomato, everybody knows that it has been released in 1994 and with the property that you can transport the food for long days. It won't rotten. The best example is BT cotton. We are looking into India also. Nowadays, more than 95% BT cotton are being grown by the farmers. But there are some lacuna of the BT cotton. You might have heard that in the Haryana and Punjab, farmers have suffered because I think in 2014 a outbreak occurred and all the BT cotton was cleared by the bollworm. Severe devastating effect, and it was estimated that around 5,000 crore rupees loss of farmers. So if you see the reason behind this, actually, again I am saying that farmers do not follow the advice given by researchers. That is why it occurred. There is refugia technology. It is advised that in case of BT cotton, if you grow BT cotton, the shopkeeper will give you a packet, and in this packet there is a small packet of desi seed along with BT cotton. So it is advised that BT cotton has to be grown outside of the boundary, so that all the insect will grow towards the desi cotton, and our BT cotton will be safe. But farmers, what does farmers? They they remove the desi cotton and directly sow the BT cotton. So all the insects which are susceptible to the BT, they will die. But those insects which are resistant against BT genes, which occurs naturally in the system, they will they will they will suck the BT cotton like anything. Likewise, the virus-resistant transgenic plants are there, which are being consumed by different foreign countries. You have heard about golden rice also. It was developed for the poor people, so that we can eliminate the nutrition deficiency in the African country. But it went into ruin, and even today, no country is ready to take this golden rice. However, the genome editing technology is being accepted by the different countries, even in India also. So with this, I will say that there is rigorous system for everything, for whether it is release of any chemicals and other thing, medicines also. But if you see, you will find that there is not any system which is more rigorous than screening of the transgenic crops or genetically modified crops. Since starting to the end of the research, there are different committees which are responsible to evaluate the biosafety concerns of the genetically modified crop. And after research, when it comes to release, Ministry of Environment will also look into this at different level, like GEAC, Genetic Engineering Advisory Committee, State Biosafety Committee, district level committee. The different committees are there. So with this, I can say that the biotechnology can also play important role to eradicate the agriculture system problems in terms of pollution. But we cannot ignore the opinion of our ecologists or environmentalists. But those ecologists and environmentalists and other researchers must come with the free mind and give their scientific logic without any bias. So these things, there are things which we have discussed, that how agriculture system is responsible for pollution, and what we are doing along with the research in the ICR system. I would like to show some photographs that how we are working lab to land. The initiative has been taken by government, lab to land. We need not to work only in laboratory. We need not to publish only research article. We also need to go to the among the farmers and tell them, aware them. Recently, we have celebrated a program from 27 April to 31st May 2026, a campaign on balanced use of fertilizers. We prepared a team, and in every team there are several members of different subject matter, and went to surrounding place of the district and suggested them that how to go for balanced use fertilizers, how to do composting. The same was celebrated under Khet Bachao Abhiyan from 1 to 30th June 26. These are few glimpses where we can see in the first picture. The preparation of Bijamrit Jivamrit was demonstrated. Farmers were aware, farmers were called, and we told them that we can use Hacha, production of Hacha, and you can prepare green manuring. This is how we demonstrated that. Our institute also itself has composting pit, and we demonstrated that how can we treat the seed. We went to village and told farmer that if you take this consortia from the institutes and the market also it is available, you can treat your seed and sow the treated seed. It will help, and in terms of fighting against different biotic and abiotic stress. Similarly, we are organizing Kisan Mela once in a year, and almost 5,000 farmers came in 2025 at our institute. And different scientists of different subjects like genetic and plant breeding told about variety, plant pathologists about diseases, entomologists about different insecticides and insects, different approaches were told to the farmers. And technology was also demonstrated in the field that you can purchase a drone, and if farmers are of large holding capacity, they can purchase, and with using community they can use this drone and to spray the fertilizer, insecticide and herbicide in the uh, suggested way. Similarly, these are glimpses of different trainings we are organizing at our institute. Farmers are being welcomed at our institute, and different classes by different scientists are being given in terms of lecture and demonstration in the laboratory and our godown also. Students are being aware with our scientists and staffs by uh, moving them into laboratory and surrounding campus, that they might be aware how to go in the agriculture field, how to means what opportunities can be taken as a career. So we are also aware, means conducting programs to aware our upcoming generation in terms of students. Of course, towards a step to make our environment free of pollution, plantation drive is important. Under Swachhta Abhiyan campaign, our institute has planted more than 500 plants. This is the picture of one or two, but we have planted more than 500 plants outside the campus where it was uh, earlier it was debris. So plantation drive also initiated by the government, and a good market name, everybody knows that people are being aware and planting for the sustainable environment. So with this, thank you so much to everyone for joining this session and listening patiently. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Any question from participants?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Uh, Regarding nutrition deficiency, we have now other variety of rice available. What are the varieties proposed by the institute?
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, varieties itself are available in the market, whether it is from public domain or from the private companies. The concern is we have to treat seed. If we want to go for fertilization free, or we can say reduce the fertilizer use in case of rice production, we have to treat the seeds with the biologicals which are available in different ICAR institutes, universities as well as market. First step, the seed treatment. Second, before farming of rice, it is advised that in the rain season, in the Jayat crop, you can say, in the rainy season, we can grow moong, udad, and different leguminous crops to enrich our soil with the nitrogen and to enrich our soil with the other microorganisms as well as Quechua, you might be knowing. So, which is also known as a friend of farmers. So, and Hacha also. So, green manuring is the best option for the this rice cultivation. But if you say that any rice variety which itself is able to produce nitrogen or enhance the soil fertility, it is not so, sir. Because we know that nutrient fixation capability is only available in the leguminous crops, not in the cereals. This is the main problem. That is why farmers are using so much of fertilizers, inorganic fertilizers.
one variety you have told about golden rice for poor people. What is this golden rice?
Sir, actually, golden rice in Switzerland, there is a scientist. He took initiative to develop a variety of rice because the why rice only. The scientists thought that most major portion of the food in the poor countries is the rice. So if we introduce some genes from bacteria and some plants which are able to synthesize vitamin A, there are basically three genes, uh, among which I think two genes has been taken from the plant and one gene from the bacteria, and altogether it has been introduced into the rice. So rice endosperm itself can develop the process and synthesize the precursor of vitamin A, precursor of vitamin A. So in the rice, why it is golden? Because of the carotene content, or you can say the metabolite content. It turned whitish to yellow color. That is golden color. That is why it is called golden rice. So basically, golden rice is enriched with the vitamin A, sir. When people will consume these golden rice grains, the precursor of vitamin A convert into the vitamin A, and our body can absorb the vitamin A itself from the food, and malnutrition will go far. This is the hypothesis actually.
But why it is told about poor people only?
Poor people actually, sir, who those who are rich, or you can say sufficient, they are taking other source of vitamins and nutrients, like they are getting
Okay,
pulses,
okay,
they are getting
okay,
vegetables.
okay.
Now in African country, you see they are starving. Forget about
Okay.
feeding properly. They are not. I mean, they are not
Right,
getting even
right,
food,
right.
and rice is cheap now, sir. That is why.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any question from participants? Any other question? Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Now we are moving towards the vote of the thanks. Now I would like to call Mr. Vignesh for today's webinar vote of thanks.
Hello. Hello. Good morning, everyone. It is my privilege to propose vote of thanks at the conclusion today's insightful webinar. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Dipanshu Jaiswal for taking the time to share his valuable knowledge and expertise insight on sustainable agricultural practices. I would also like to thank Dr. Bhavesh Modi, Director of ICMR NIOH, for continuous guidance and organizing and help for support for organizing such a meaningful and awareness webinar. And I also want to thank our EICP coordinator, Dr. Ankit Seth sir, for his valuable coordination, support, and encouragement in making this webinar possible. I also extend my appreciation to all the participants for their active presence and enthusiastic participation. Your interest, engagement are truly encouraging. Finally, I thank everyone who contributed directly or indirectly to the successful organization of this webinar. I would also like to thank Mr. Ajay Neeraj, Program Officer, and Hiral Ma'am, Miss Hiral Ma'am, Information Officer. Once again, thank you, Dr. Dipanshu Jaiswal, sir. Thank you to everyone being part of this webinar.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you to all participants.
Shall we end it, Dr.
Yes,
Ajay?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can end it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
please mark their attendance on given link. Hello. Hello. All please mark their attendance to get certificate. It is mandatory.
Okay, sir.
Hello.